Hello, fourth grade. This is Mr. Garcia. Today we're going to do a 2 by 1 digit partial quotients division using the fishhook with remainder. Okay. Again, if you guys want to have a scratch piece of paper to follow along with the video, you can. Okay, our I can statement says I can divide a 2-digit by a 1-digit number with remainders. Our bell ringer today is divide. Again, pause the video, complete the bell ringer, and then press play. 20 divided by 4 equals 5. 36 divided by 6 equals 6. 72 divided by 8 equals 9. 45 divided by 5 equals 9. 48 divided by 6 equals 8. 21 divided by 7 equals 3. 56 divided by 7 equals 8. 33 divided by 3 equals 11. 32 divided by 4 equals 8. Okay. My next slide here says, what is a remainder? Okay, a remainder is the amount that is left over after everything is placed in a group. Okay, so let's say this example here, let's say you have 7 pieces of gum and you want to put those 7 pieces into 2 equal groups. Okay, so you will have 1 group, 2 groups, 3 groups, and then this last one you can't put into a group because you need 2 in each group. Okay, so that one will be your remainder. So for this one it would be 3 with a remainder of 1. Okay, again, the remainder is the amount that is left over after everything is placed in a group. Okay, so the fishhook, again, if you guys want to try this out right away, you can. If not, if you forgot how to do it, just watch me do it. But if you want to try it, pause it and then press play. Okay, the big number is going to go in the inside of my fishhook, and then my small number is going to go on the outside. Again, I'm going to start my process by underlining the very first digit, so my 8. Then I'm going to ask myself, can 6 go into 8? Absolutely it can. How many times can 6 go into 8? Just one time. Okay, and then 6 times 1 equals 6, and that's going to go under my underline here. And then I'm going to drop down 1 0. If I drop down 1 0 here, I have to add a 0 over here. So I'm going to drop my 0 and add a 0 over here. And then I'm going to subtract. And then I'm going to take 8 minus 0, which equals 8. And then 8 minus 6, which equals 2. Okay? And from here, I'm going to start the process over again. I'm going to underline the first digit. Then I'm going to ask myself, can 6 go into 2? No, it can't. So then I'm going to continue my underline to 28. Now I'm going to ask myself this question. How many times can 6 go into 28? Okay. 6 can go into 28 4 times. Okay, so I'm going to put a 4 on the right-hand side of my fishhook. Now 6 times 4 equals 24, and that's going to go under my underline. Now I'm going to subtract 8 minus 4 equals 4, and then 2 minus 2 equals 0. I'm just going to let that be. Okay, now I'm going to ask myself this question. Can 6 go into 4? No, it can't, because 6 is bigger than 4. Okay, so that 4 is then going to become my remainder, and I'm going to circle it here. Okay, now all I have to do is write or add the numbers to the right hand side of my fishhook. So 0 plus 4 equals 4, and then 1 plus nothing equals 1, to get an answer of 14 with a remainder of 4. Okay, and that is going to be my answer. Next one here, again, try it on your own, pause the video, and then press play. All right, my big number, my 73, is going to go inside of my fishhook. My 3 is going to go on the outside. Very first thing I'm going to do is underline the first digit, which is the 7. Now I'm going to ask myself, how many times can 3 go into 7? 3 can go into 7 2 times, okay? I am then going to multiply 3 times 2, which equals 6, and that's going to go under my underline. I am then going to drop down 1 0 and then add a 0 to my 2, okay? So drop down 1 0 and then add that 0 to my 2 to make it 20. Next step is going to be to subtract. 3 minus 0 equals 3. 7 minus 6 equals 1. From here, I'm going to start the process over again. I'm going to underline my first digit, which is my 1. And I'm going to ask myself, can 3 go into 1? No, it can't, because 3 is bigger than 1. So I'm going to extend my underline to 13. Now I'm going to ask myself, how many times can 3 go into 13? I know that 3 times 4 equals 12. That's the closest I can get. So I'm going to take 3 times 4 to get 12. I am then going to subtract 13 minus 12. 3 minus 2 equals 1. Okay. Now from here, I'm going to ask myself, can 3 go into 1? No, it can't, because 3 is bigger than 1. So that 1 becomes my remainder, okay? Last step is going to be to add the numbers to the right-hand side of my fishhook. So I'm going to add 20 plus 4. 0 plus 4 equals 4. 2 plus nothing equals 2. So I'm going to get an answer of 24 with a remainder of 1. And that's going to be my answer. Next one here, again, pause the video, try it on your own, and then press play. Okay, my big number, my 53, is going to go inside of my fishhook. And then my small number, my 2, is going to go on the outside. First thing I'm going to do is underline my first digit, which is my 5. Okay, and then I'm going to ask myself, how many times can 2 go into 5? And I know that 2 can go into 5 2 times. Okay, so then I'm going to take 2 times 2, and that equals 4. My 4 is going to go under my 5, and then I'm going to bring down 1 0 here and add a 0 to my 2. So I'm going to bring down my 0 and then add a 0 to the 2. Next step is going to be to subtract. 3 minus 0 equals 3. 5 minus 4 equals 1 to get 13. Again, I'm going to start the process over. Underline the first digit, which is my 1. And then I'm going to ask myself, can 2 go into 1? No, it can't, because 2 is bigger than 1. So I am going to continue my underline. And I'm going to underline the 3 to make 13. Now I'm going to ask myself, how many times can 2 go into 13? Now I know that 2 times 6 equals 12, and that is close enough. Okay, so I'm going to take 2 times 6, and that equals 12. My 12 is going to go under my underline, and then I'm going to subtract to get 1. Okay, now I'm going to ask myself one more time, can 2 go into 1? No, it can't, so that makes the 1 my remainder. And I'm going to circle it so I don't forget about it. Last step is to add my 20 plus 6. 0 plus 6 equals 6. 2 plus nothing equals 2. And I have a remainder of 1. Okay, next one here. Again, pause the video, try it on your own, then press play. Again, my 70, my big number, is going to go in the inside of my fishhook. My small number, my 4, is going to go on the outside. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to underline my 7, my first digit. Now I'm going to ask myself, how many times can 4 go into 7? I know that 4 can go into 7 just one time. Okay, so I'm going to take 4 times 1, and that equals 4. My 4 is going to go under my underline, and I'm going to drop down 1 0 and add a 0 to my 1. So I'm going to drop down my 0 and then add a 0 to my 1 so I don't forget about it. Next step is to subtract 70 minus 40. 0 minus 0 equals 0. 7 minus 4 equals 3 to get 30. Then I start the process over again, underline my first digit, ask myself, can 4 go into 3? No, it can't. So then I'm going to continue my underline of 30. Now, how many times can 4 go into 30? Okay. You can start out by counting 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, 24, 28. Okay. So 4 times 7 equals 28. Okay. So my 7 is going to go on the right hand side. And then again, 4 times 7 equals 28. And I am going to write that under my underline. Okay, under my 30. Next step is going to be to subtract 30 minus 28. Now, can I take 0 minus 8? No, I can't. I got to borrow from the 3. The 3 then becomes a 2, and the 0 becomes a 10. Now, 10 minus 8 equals 2. 2 minus 2 equals 0. Okay, now that's my last digit. And again, I'm going to ask myself, can 4 go into 2? No, it can't because 4 is bigger than 2. Okay, so then that 2 becomes my remainder. I'm going to circle it so I don't forget about it later. Okay, next step is to add my 10 plus 7. 0 plus 7 equals 7. 1 plus nothing equals 1 with a remainder of 2. Okay, so my answer is 17 with a remainder of 2. Okay, next one is going to be my last one here. Again, pause the video, try it out on a scratch piece of paper, and then press play. Again, my 79, my big number goes in the fish hook. My 7 goes on the outside here. All right, first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to underline my 7. Okay, then I'm going to ask myself, how many times can 7 go into 7? I know for a fact that 7 can go into 7 just one time. Okay, I am then going to take 7 times 1 to get 7, and that's going to go under my underline. I am then going to drop down 1 0 and add a 0 to my 1. Okay, so 0 here, and then I add a 0 to my 1. Next step is going to be to subtract here, so that 9 minus 0 equals 9. 7 minus 7 equals nothing. Okay, next step, again, I'm going to underline my 9. And I'm going to ask myself, how many times can 7 go into 9? Okay, I know for a fact the 7 can go into 9 one time. All right, so then I'm going to take 7 times 1, and that's going to give me 7. That's going to go under my underline. Okay, and then I'm going to subtract. Now, 9 minus 7 equals 2. Right? Next step, again, can 7 go into 2? No, it can't. So then that 2 becomes my remainder. I'm going to circle it so I don't forget about it. Okay? Last step here is going to be to add my 10 and the 1. So 10 plus 1 equals 11 with a remainder of 2. So my answer is 11 with a remainder of 2. Okay, so today's work is long division. So the fish hook with remainders. All right. Now this is the deal. I'm going to give you a clue. Numbers, what is it? There's 2 of them that don't have a remainder. Okay. There's 2 that don't have a remainder. I think it's number 6, and I think number 2. All right. Again, today's work is 2 by 1 division with remainders. And again, it's not number 3. That's my bad. I messed that up. I think it's number 2 that doesn't have a remainder. Okay? Today there is no home link. Remember to go on Dreambox or Prodigy for 15 to 20 minutes a day. If you guys have any questions, make sure you email me or join my Zoom meetings every Monday through Friday from 8 to 10 a.m. And keep up the good work, guys. We're almost there, okay? You guys have been doing awesome. Have a great day.